I ran in to a lady who has a little dictionary. It's called the Woke Dictionary. Now, she's a brilliant entrepreneur, successful businesswoman, helped churches be built, struggled with her own battles with depression. She's had the highs, she's had the lows, but she said, well, I could do something. So, for instance, when you hear about equity, some say equity recognizes each person's unique advantages and disadvantages and takes affirmative steps to level the playing field for them. Give them a ladder to get up. In reality, equity is a race to the bottom for everybody because it rejects the concept of equal opportunity and instead demands equal outcomes regardless of your competency or capacity. Now, if you understand what that means, the person doing maintenance now on the airplane will have the door blow off when it takes off. Because somebody's doing maintenance on airplanes, not because they're the best mechanic, but because they needed to have an opportunity to become a mechanic. Not going to work well when you start seeing the practical benefits and disasters that come with woke society when it's played out. Welcome Christy Narcy. She's going to be giving you the Woke Dictionary and a revelation of what the words mean.
Thank you.
Thanks, Christy. There's your dictionary.
That's the Woke-tionary. And I've got one for each of you today so that you can take that with you. Well, my name is Christy, and I just want you to know up front that I identify as a white evangelical Christian woman. I have a question, though, for all of you. Does anybody here know what a woman is? We are not birthing persons. We are not chest feeders. We are women. And if you're not sure how to define a woman, please allow me to help you. An adult human female, that is what a woman is. It's not hard. I've been married 26 years. My husband and I have 2 adult daughters, ages 22 and 24, and I serve as president of a K-8 charter school in North Phoenix. And I recently told a room full of parents that over my dead body would little boys be in those little girls' bathrooms. Not happening. We're not doing it. And I'm going to tell you right now, not one parent walked out of that room. In fact, they applauded. This is what people want. We had parents with a 6-year-old girl. They came to us and they said, we would like her to use the boys' restroom. And we said, no. We will not put your daughter in danger like that. Y'all, I'm going to tell you, I got so much mama bear pent up in me over all of this craziness. It's like something just kind of like comes over me. When you threaten my cubs, I will cut you. That is how I feel about that. This is the hill I will die on. They can throw me in jail. I'm telling you right now, I'm here for it. Don't be coming to bail me out, Lance. Anybody, I'm going to stay right there. I'm going to make a point. This is the courage tour. It's time for courage. I've got about 10 minutes here to develop in you a sense of urgency about the war on women. So let me tell you what is not a joke. Not long after I made my declaration to be the first non-woke public school, the current administration delivered the illegal rewrite of Title IX. This unlawful regulation reimagines Title IX to permit the invasion of women's spaces and the reduction of women's rights in the name of elevating protections for gender identity. That is completely contrary to the text and the purpose of Title IX. In addition to its impact on sports, the new rule, listen to this, redefines sexual harassment to encompass a single instance of speech, which will in effect force students and teachers to use preferred pronouns or face discipline, quote. Regardless of whether or not it violates their religious belief, freedom of speech, science, common sense. As National Chapter Director for Independent Women's Network, I travel from state to state recruiting, training, and standing up chapters with some of the most vibrant, intelligent, successful women that you will ever meet. These are women who know that we are called to the fight to protect our own. And I've traveled several times over the last year with our ambassador, 12-time All-American swimmer Riley Gaines. You know who she is. She's amazing, amazing young woman. 40 young ladies on a swim team, forced to undress and paraded in front of a man, a 6'4" male with full male genitalia intact, forced to undress multiple times a week for his pleasure. Unbelievable. See, this goes way beyond titles and trophies and scholarships, and all those things are really important for girls. But this is the sexual exploitation of women. 18 and 19 years old, humiliated, scared, traumatized. And then they were told if they were not comfortable with the circumstances, they should see a counselor so they could get comfortable. You see, the predators are now the victims. This transgender social contagion has turned on us. And ladies, you have to understand, you are now the oppressing class. I'm not making that up. I'm not exaggerating. We are the oppressors. And men who think they are women get to play the victim. When the safety of women and children are no longer prioritized in a country, you are witnessing the demise of that country, period. So are we waking up to this yet? It is not just about sports. It is about grooming. Our girls are being shamed and groomed to turn off their knower. See, I have a knower that tells me this person's dangerous. I need to leave this space. But see, if she uses her knower, she's called a racist, homophobic, anti-trans. If she stands up for herself, she's bullied and harassed and canceled. So, our Independent Women's Law Center is suing the administration for this illegal and dangerous rewrite. Yep, we're here for it. Because taking opportunities for women does not enforce Title IX, it violates it. Let me tell you what else isn't a joke. Male convicted sexual predators by the hundreds being transferred into women's prisons. My friend and ambassador for our organization, Amy Ichikawa, was formerly incarcerated. And after rebuilding her life and ministering to women from outside the prison walls, she started receiving hundreds of letters. Incarcerated women being assaulted by men who decided they were women and were transferred to the prison of their choice. Guess which one they picked? What could possibly go wrong? These are males convicted of domestic violence, sexual assault, child abuse of the most heinous kind, and murder. And they are now cellmates with women. Ladies, imagine being a woman locked in a cell with a predator. That's what's happening. And if you think it's not happening in Arizona, you're wrong. It's actually happening here. Our network has over 30,000 online members and almost 30 chapters throughout the country, and we're growing. Here's why that matters. It matters because we take action. We're doing the things. You'll find our fellows, ambassadors, chapter leaders, and staff writing op-eds, testifying to city councils and school boards, doing media hits on all major media outlets, speaking with congressional leaders, speakers of the House, and majority leaders. And our 501c4 arm created model legislation called the Women's Bill of Rights. The Women's Bill of Rights defines sex-based terms used in state laws, declares the state has an important interest in protecting single-sex spaces, and it ensures the accuracy of public data collection. Think about that. Medical statistics. Woman, male, I don't know, check the box, whatever you feel like. That's dangerous. Well, the Women's Bill of Rights passed in the Arizona House and Senate. Yeah, you can clap for that, because I'm going to tell you the people want it. It was vetoed by our female governor. But you know how evil does something over here to distract you while they're doing something over here? See, while we've been fighting to get literal sanity back into the human race, the government also took it upon themselves to introduce a repeal of independent contractor laws. Does anybody know about this? One. This is a big deal, you guys. A massive amount of small businesses that depend on independent contractors will be forced to hire them as employees. How Marxist is that? See, it's a war on women, because what I'm saying is redefining what a woman is, any bureaucrat can just decide, rewriting Title IX, wide open borders, which means wide open trafficking of women and children, and now the livelihoods of women who need the flexibility of working for themselves while they're raising babies. Think about what that means. Many of you today are independent contractors, right here, right now. That's your Mary Kay lady, your realtor, your hairdresser, your mortgage loan rep, consultants, gig workers, photographers, freelancers, Etsy sellers, public speakers. This is a really big deal. Forced to be employees. Every one of these is an attack on our freedom, but it impacts women disproportionately. It just does. I spent 10 years in full-time ministry as director of operations for two of the fastest growing churches in America. And I have 25 years of study in theology. And I don't say that to impress you. I say it to impress upon you that we can worship and sing, we can memorize scripture, I can preach the paint off the walls. But it doesn't mean a lick if we don't have action. Faith without works is just dead. Got to do something. Got to do it. I testified at the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors, Lance, 2 weeks ago, and I'm going to tell you guys something. You need to be there. It is so important. And they're yelling at the Board of Supervisors. They're calling them names. No decorum, no respect. That's who's representing you if you're not down there. That's a big deal. I was the only one in the room that addressed them as Board of Supervisors. I was the only one that thanked them for their service. And I had education with me. I had facts. You've got to be the one bringing the voice in the room, the reason in the room. You've got to do it, okay? And I will help you with that. We will help you get that done. You just let me know. I'm going to be in the back. I've got Woktionaries for each of you.
Wonderful job. I gave you some extra time because it was so good.